Hi, so obviously this week is Children's Mental Health Week. I can't actually believe it's Saturday before I've managed to come on and kind of say hi and kind of explain a little bit about my books and why I actually started writing. So I think I'll explain kind of first of all why it's kind of taking this long. Quite often I put my own mental health possibly second to that of my children's. And yes, I could have kind of pushed myself and actually come on and amongst the chaos of homeschooling and childcare and hospital appointments and everything else that's going on this week. So I could have actually pushed to kind of do my own video, but actually I chose to look after myself. And really that comes from, if I don't look after myself and my own mental well-being, then I'm not going to be there to look after the children and theirs as well. So that's why it's taken me this long to come on and kind of speak to you through Children's Mental Health Week. I would have loved to have been out walking, although this cyclists have just put me to shame. But as you can see, the weather is a bit rubbish. So we had intended to go out this week and get some fresh air and all of that. And the children's school have kind of set them challenges to get out and about, but quite frankly, I can't deal with the weather. So some of the things that we have done this week, I think it's really important to kind of have something to look forward to. So we arranged to have an afternoon tea delivered, so the kids had that to look forward to on Thursday. Absolutely delicious, and a big shout out to Vanilla Treats up in the northeast of England here as well for delivering that to us. And so we've tried to kind of have a few different kind of treats and things like that to look forward to this week. And I think it's important to have, I was going to say that normality, but I suppose some treats aren't necessarily always a normality. But I think at the moment, especially in the UK, kind of where we're in this lockdown again, we're not quite sure when it's going to end. To have something to look forward to is lovely, especially when the weather is like this outside. But never mind. So I just wanted to kind of, as I say, just introduce kind of me, a little bit about kind of why I got into writing the children's books. So I used to be, I think kind of a lot of people that follow me possibly know this already, but I used to be a maths teacher and absolutely loved it. I really enjoyed kind of teaching, and 2014 I got into a network marketing company. And from there, anyone that's been involved in network marketing will know that kind of the network marketing world is very closely aligned with the personal development world. So obviously got very quickly kind of introduced to that. And I started, so Maya would have been 4 at the time. And I realised that things I was adopting were kind of rubbing off on her as well. She would come to events with me, she'd come to conferences, all sorts of things like that, and she absolutely loved it. She just completely soaked it all up. So for a 4-year-old to kind of be, to just kind of be in that world and kind of soaking that up, and then I could see the impact that was having on her. And obviously with me being a teacher as well, people would kind of say more and more, why are schools not doing this? What's going on? You can probably hear the kids shouting away. Oh, that's one of the other things we've done this week. I've just kind of done my 20 minutes exercise to close my rings, doing Just Dance with the kids. So again, it was kind of, I do feel that it's important to kind of get involved in their activities as well. So I started actually introducing some of the activities into my teaching. So although I was a maths teacher, I still did kind of a lot of pastoral work with kids in my tutor group, with kids that I taught as well. They would quite often come to me. Quite sad that, like, trying to get them to raise their aspirations and see the good in themselves, for some was really, really difficult. And I remember one student who I'd asked him, I said, if you're struggling, ask your family what things that you are good at. And he came back to me and was like, all they said was, I'm good at eating bacon sandwiches in the morning. And oh my God, my heart broke, because I was just like, these families should be the ones that are kind of bigging him up and kind of saying that, like, this is what you're good at. You're good at this, you're good at that, you're good at football, you're good at listening, you're good at helping us out. There's so many things that we can kind of identify for other people that they are good at that we don't necessarily see in ourselves. So I did feel really strongly about trying to kind of do more work with the teenagers that I taught at the time. And then sadly, kind of in 2015, my years all kind of merged into one now. 2015, we lost, or maybe it was 2014. I've got to say my years have all gone. So we lost a student to a brain tumour, which was a really difficult time. Various other things I ended up going off with work-related stress, and I made the decision then that I was going to kind of move away from teaching so that I could work with students more and kind of work on the personal development side of things to help more students, so that I wasn't restricted within just the school I was working in. So I kind of wrote my first children's books by accident. So Maya the Unicorn and Oscar the Dragon, they were written by accident when I was kind of having a bit of a planning session with a friend of mine about some work we were wanting to do with teenagers. And I sat on them for 2 years. I didn't do anything with them for 2 years. Ironically, the books are about self-belief and confidence, and I didn't have the self-belief and confidence to do anything with them. I wasn't an author, didn't know what to do. So that was kind of 2016, I wrote those, I think. And it was 2018 before I actually self-published them, found an illustrator, self-published them. You can see kind of my canvas prints of them here. So, and even then from 2018, it was only this year that I actually crazy enough trying to homeschool and do everything else. We're trying to toilet train as well. So yeah, that was kind of what I kind of did with those, and I didn't want them to be just storybooks. I wanted them to be tools that children could use. So they are written for kind of preschool, primary age children. There's quite a wide, I feel that there's quite a wide range of ages that they are applicable for, because with preschool children, parents have enjoyed reading them to them, and the activities are there as a discussion point really to start with. And I kind of create the activities at the back that they can kind of write out the answers or draw pictures for them as well, depending on their age and ability. So they do address things like gratitude, because in order for us to be positive about ourselves and positive about our journeys, we do need to kind of acknowledge the positives that are in our lives at the moment. And actually Maya's Christmas present this year was happy jars. So she created these happy jars. You might have seen them. I did a post this week on the page about them. So Maya created these happy jars for all of the family for our Christmas presents, and they've been a great little reminder actually to just kind of remember that gratitude. And I'm actually really grateful for the fact that she has done those jars and having such a thoughtful daughter. She's behind kind of posing as well. So there's the gratitude in there, and there is identifying what you're good at, again, because we do need that reminder. It's far too easy for us, certainly as adults, but I think as children as well, it's far too easy to be down on ourselves. So those reminders to kind of what we're good at. And one of the sheets I kind of shared this week in the free resources is about I am amazing. Why am I amazing? Because I'm good at this, and I'm proud of myself because, or I'm a good friend because. So those sheets, they are on my website. They're available as free downloads for kids to use. They will be there. They're not just there for this week. So obviously we're kind of towards the end of this week now, but they are there, and I will keep adding resources in there as well for you to use with children at home, so that you to try and encourage that kind of positivity. And then once Ava was born in 2018, that's where I wrote Ava the Mermaid. I was going to say Go to the Hospital. That was last year. So Ava the Mermaid. So Ava the Mermaid was a little bit different. I knew I wanted to write a book about Ava because I had one about Maya and Oscar. Hadn't got a clue what I was going to do before she was born. I'm a great believer in things happening for a reason. I don't think she has Down syndrome for the reason for me to write a book about kindness and inclusion, but I do believe things happen for a reason, and it did make that decision about what that book was going to be about. So Ava the Mermaid is about kindness and inclusion, and again that has activities in the back. So it follows Ava on her journey with a group of mer people who aren't sure about Ava because she's a little bit different. They don't know whether she's going to spoil the games, but then they find out that she's not, and actually they can learn lots from her. So again, the activities in that book, and again I think they are important for this week as well as kind of generally around inclusion. So one of them is thinking about things that they struggle with, and the reason I've included that activity was, I suppose, for two reasons. One, because to acknowledge that we actually do all have struggles with certain things, but also to start thinking about how we can work around those struggles. And I think that's sort of something that's important for kind of mental well-being as well, to know that actually we can work to overcome some of our problems that we have, or some of our struggles that we have. There's also an activity in there about how you can help each other. What do you do to help others? I think that's important, kind of helping others, it helps us as well. So if we can encourage our children to kind of help each other, help you around the house. Obviously they're not seeing that many people at the moment to help other people, possibly in school if they are still going to school, but it gives you a nice warm fuzzy feeling as well if you help someone else. So it's kind of a double whammy with that one. So I do think that's important. And then the last book that I've kind of got written at the moment, there are others to be coming. So the most recent one is Ava the Mermaid Goes to Hospital. So that one was written, I think it was the quickest turnaround I've had for a book. So Ava the Mermaid Goes to Hospital I was asked to write something in the first lockdown last year. And that it was to form part of a charity collaborative ebook, and the money that was going to be raised for that was to be shared between children's mental health charities. So again, it was something I really did feel kind of quite strongly about being involved in, and I wanted something that was going to be quite relevant at the time. So although obviously it's written, it's got to be related to Ava the Mermaid, so, or in my head it had to be. So it's Ava the Mermaid Goes to Hospital, and it explores the journey that we went through, and kind of more importantly Maya and Oscar, as Ava's siblings, when Ava went into hospital to have her heart surgery. That was in September 2018, so she was only 4 months old. We'd had kind of a bit of a whirlwind of 4 months, kind of getting used to her diagnosis, all in and out of hospital with kind of hospital and things like that, in and out of hospital with feeding and medication, and just kind of making sure that she was going to be well enough to kind of have her surgery. So obviously it was quite a roller coaster for the entire family, and Maya and Oscar, they managed. I'm not going to say it was me. They were just amazing. And I think part of it is the fact that like the world that we brought them up in, it with that kind of personal development focus has really helped that. So the book Ava the Mermaid Goes to Hospital was exploring kind of emotions that siblings would go through, and I suppose I wanted it to link to the lockdown at the time. Obviously there was a lot of children that weren't able to see family members, and they didn't. Some of them might have been ill, some of them might have been in hospital, some of them might have been ill at home. But even just being in lockdown, without that, not seeing their friends, there are going to be a lot of emotions that are going on. So the activities that are at the back of Ava the Mermaid Goes to Hospital, there is one of looking at, and again this links to kind of one of the free resources that I'd popped into the download section this week. But it is looking at kind of actually how can we help ourselves if we are in that situation where we're feeling worried or scared or just not quite right. So there's a couple of little activities there. And I can't even remember the other activities that are in there, but as I say, I think I didn't want my stories to just be stories, nice little stories. That they are stories that have activities that can be keep being revisited. And I've got one friend, her little girl loves Maya the Unicorn, and I love the fact that she thinks it's in the same series as the Julia Donaldson book, so that makes me feel good. But yeah, so knowing that kids really do enjoy these stories, as I say, from preschool through to primary school, they are enjoying the stories, but also the fact that they have a real purpose with these activities that are included at the back of them, that can be revisited over time and actually can start to form some good habits that they do beyond those stories, and hopefully carry on. As I say, Maya doesn't read Maya the Unicorn anymore, she's 11 now, but she created these jars, and she's the one that reminds us every single day that we need to add something into these jars. And even if we've had a really tough day, Tuesday I had the worst day ever, I just cried. I had disaster after disaster, but I can still add something into my jar. And Maya is a great reminder for that. Oh, I know, Michelle, that's what I was saying. I think you possibly jumped on just after I was saying that, but yes, Michelle, absolutely, she did come to our family for a reason. And I am hoping that I can put that reason to good use and actually do some good in the world. So yeah, like I do miss teaching. I don't miss teaching at the same time. And I really want my books to be out there to help as many children as possible. And I wasn't actually going to say this now, but if I commit to you now, I'm going to have to do it. But at the end of last year, thanks, Michelle. At the end of last year, I decided I was going to kind of pick back up what I'd planned when I was leaving teaching, and that was to write something for teenagers. So this year, a little bit out of kind of, well, writing the storybooks is out of my comfort zone, but this year, kind of out of my comfort zone again, writing something. Oh yeah, I know I am teaching through my books. I suppose I miss the classroom, but then don't at the same time, especially at the moment. So this year the book I'm writing is for teenagers, and it's not going to be fiction, it's more non-fiction, but it is kind of with the same kind of themes through the book, and hopefully so that I can kind of continue to kind of have that teaching, that helping, that supporting children of the next kind of age, especially given the last 12 months that we've had. I think it's going to be really important. I think it's quite easy to lose direction, especially when things have been in a bit of a muddle. So watch this space. Now I've said it to you, I'm going to have to make it happen. And please do keep asking where it is and when it's coming out, just to keep me going with it. And thanks for kind of, so many of you are massive supporters of kind of what I'm trying to do, and I really do appreciate that. And if I'm having a bad day, I'll come and read comments and things that everybody leaves and reviews, so thank you for that. It will absolutely happen, Michelle. But yes, so that's me, that's why I started writing. And if you haven't already gone to find the free resources on my website, so it's eleanorbagley.com/free-resources, or if you go to eleanorbagley.com, you will find them there as well. Or obviously you're on my Facebook or whatever now. So on LinkedIn, I'm Eleanor Bagley, Facebook and Instagram, Eleanor Bagley Author, and Twitter, eBagley, just to mix things up a little bit, just to confuse you all. But they will have information about all the free resources. As I say, they're not just free for this week, they are going to be there permanently for you to download, along with some colouring pages with images from the book, which again, colouring is just so nice and calming as well for something to do if you do need to kind of just relax, or little ones need to relax. So they are going to be there all the time to download. So head over now, get them downloaded. I will keep adding resources in there, so even if you've already signed up, anything that gets added after that, you will still be able to access those. So you don't need to kind of keep coming back and revisiting it. That download link will still be there, and I can kind of send you a notification or a reminder if needs be, if you want to know of when the other resources are there. But please, 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 any children in your life, not just oh well, Michelle, you can add to that, you can get some unicorn pictures and all sorts that you can colour in and have fun with those. But yeah, please, please, any children that you have got in your lives, please do go and kind of have a look at the resources. Although they are aimed at the kind of primary age at the moment, some of them are adaptable. To be honest, it can be used kind of for older age groups, and I will definitely be adding some more in there. So any children, I know I've had kind of people contacting me for stuff for the grandchildren, for nieces, nephews, their own children. I've had teachers ask for kind of bits and pieces of resources. So please do, any children in your lives, go and download some of the resources and let me know if they have been useful, if the children have kind of enjoyed using them. I really love to hear that's why I do this, because I love to hear how much fun kind of the children are having with the things. So eleanorbagley.com for the free resources, it's /free-resources, and get your kind of downloads there. So thank you very much for kind of tuning in. this was a little bit out of my comfort zone. Bizarrely, I'm happy on my other page, the Snowdrop Story, I'm happy to sing and do whatever with the kids talking about me. That's not something I'm happy with. So I have pushed myself here. So thank you for tuning in. Go and download the stuff and make your lives and children's lives a happy place to be. So goodbye for now. Enjoy your weekends.